Top left-hand side, our green Terran player here on Kairos Junction. Give it up if you're cheering on Aqueron in our final group game, a Group C. Which means we can actually talk about what this means right now for each of these players. Again, they cannot advance to the next stage of the tournament, but Aqueron is currently 1-5 and ArT is 0-6. So if ArT wins 2-0, he will take 4th place in the group and hence $50. Whereas the on the other side of things, Aqueron, if he wins one map, will finish ahead of ArT, and he will take the $50 home. So this is actually essentially the difference between a $25 and a $50 payout for the players, which isn't a lot, but hey, again, these aren't, these aren't the pros to pros, not in an offensive way, just they're not the, they're not your TLOs, your Stefanos, and all the rest of it. So it's still not a bad payday for these guys who oftentimes would struggle to, they wouldn't often find themselves winning $50, $25 in these online events, just because these online events usually are so stacked. It is very difficult for anyone to win that sort of money. Aqueron is in the top left. ArT is in the bottom right as we kick this off. Kairos Junction is our map by Soulside Super 5. A map which a map maker who we've seen in the last couple of map contest finalists, and another one of his making it in here as well. This is from the standard map category. It's an interesting one. The more I look at this, the more I see the players vetoing it, the more I wonder why. Because it doesn't really seem that crazy. It's kind of large. The main base is pretty normal, the natural's pretty regular. You can drop over into it, I guess. Third base is okay. Maybe siege ups over here are kind of scary. Third base down here, possibly. Like this, I mean, then you siege up over here. That's actually really scary. I guess it's, I don't know, but then you take the third base here, and it's a pretty regular third, I'd say. I don't know. People have not really been wanting to play on this. It actually got vetoed a lot more than what I thought it would be. So it's been vetoed way more than what I expected. As you do see this Reaper heading down to the south side of the map, and the Adept just going to join up with another Adept up on the high ground. Oracle from ArT is going to move on in towards the upper left-hand side. We do see these Adepts just going to try and jump on top of that Reaper, and they will get there. 3 Adepts. Reaper goes down. So the opening here, obviously from ArT to Stargate, and with the Oracle and 3 Adepts, it does look to create a lot of pressure in these early stages. As we have the factory throwing down a reactor for the starport. A 2-1-1 setup from Aqueron means he's heavy on Marines, but he doesn't have an insane amount just yet, which, again, I feel like if ArT jumps in here, a lot can be done. There's actually a Widowmine down. This isn't the exact 2-1-1 build. There is definitely a bit of a difference in how this has been set up, because obviously usually you don't have a Widowmine at this stage of a 2-1-1. 3 Adepts get a similar number, the same number of workers killed. Not too great. The Oracle flies into the Widowmine. Slightly painful as ArT now. Well, if this Oracle just flying around, I mean, it's energy already activated to scare those workers away. No further kills though, unfortunately. CWS Newling in the chat asking, will Hearthstone vs. Puck be played today? Yes, Hearthstone vs. Puck, best of 3 tiebreaker, played after this series actually. Nexus starting up here from ArT, as we do see the Oracle will head out onto the map again. 2 warp gates just at the front, a Stalker already warping in, the +1 attack upgrade coming through on the Forge as well, Blink being chrono boosted. A couple of Stalkers being added in here right now actually, so just some gateway units getting ready to go, as we do see those first 2 medevacs and Marines starting to head down to the bottom right. I'd say 2 medevacs, I only see 1 right now. It looks as though he maybe made 1 medevac before he swapped over. He actually leaves his mineral line open though. Well, these Oracles are going to find some damage. However, he is going to push across with a good army, so there's a real opportunity Aqueron can make up for this damage which he's taken. One of the Oracles runs out of energy, so actually it hasn't even been so bad yet. Although now he'll start to lose these mules and a couple more workers. Well, shield battery's not up yet again. I feel like if Aqueron wants to do this, he should just dive for it, but now he doesn't. In that case, he just has to go and cancel this base, but it doesn't look as though he realizes that this Nexus is here. So Aqueron could be doing so much. I guess it's just because he only has 1 medevac. If he had 2, he'd probably be a lot more confident. Okay, well, he finds the Nexus at least. That's something for him. 2 more medevacs are coming over. This Nexus starting to fall. He'll sim for it now. Widowmine gets a Stalker kill here. Obviously, Widowmine gets cleaned out from there, but Nexus goes down. Well, Aqueron finds something at least. Now he'll actually turn and try and fight those Stalkers. We'll have to stim again, though. Sentry obviously can't be saved. The force fields are decent, but not going to actually keep it alive. Stalker's blinking backwards. The micro good. No target fire on the Medivacs, which I feel he could have done to kind of really get some value out of trading with this Terran Force now. We're going to be seeing Marines stimming in once again. Shield Battery helping out. The Blinks there for some of these Stalkers. Missed Blink on that full health one. Obviously, that's not the one he needs to bring back. But then he blinks forwards and gets a Medivac kill. So Aqueron is pushed away as ArT will stick with the Gateway Heavy Force. Going to play a style here as he goes into +2 attack and plus Resonating Glaives. Those upgrades are going to allow him to continue to play very aggressive with a lot of gateways. 3 gates right now won't really cut it. He'll spend his money on getting another Nexus up. But my god, you will better expect 5 to 7 extra gates in the very near future because he is playing a gateway style. He throws down Temple Archives first. He needs gateways though. Alright, well, there's 3 of them, so that brings him up to 6. Again, you'll need 8 or 10 gates in total, though, to make this work. These Oracles still alive, and without a missile turret being built, it means that those Oracles get another few worker kills, forces another stim out of the Terran. So far, ArT is really getting a lot of damage out of this. Those Oracles have been so valuable here. Oracles coming back up to the top. Stalkers are backing away. Concussive Shells starts up from Aqueron in the main base. So getting Concussive Shells on his way now, too. See, those probes are going to pull back over towards this 3rd base. And Concussive Shells +1 attack. All of this coming through. 5 extra gates added on, so that is going to be up to 8 gates. So, again, as expected. I wasn't expecting the Temple Archives, but if he does play with the Archives, then the 8 gates instead of 10 obviously makes more sense. Adding an Archon or 2 into this. Again, mostly, though, again, Adept Stalker Force. I mean, you have to expect Charge to come through next, though, right? Like, because the Zealots are going to be so powerful in this. So powerful in this. Well, 2 Oracles just sat off towards the little bit of a center. Some Bio going to start pressing forwards, and Stalkers will start to blink away instantly, but it still gets a Medivac. ArT finding some really good damage here. Storm is about halfway done at the moment for our Protoss, so Storm about halfway done. 2 Assimilators will be finishing up from him now as well. Going to throw a couple of workers into each of these. More Zealots warping in too. In the middle of the map, the Revelation tags from the Oracles are going to keep the Terran player just revealed. Allows him to know where he is at all points. The Stalker's getting a couple of extra units and blinking away. Just finding value out of that blink. A Storm 10 seconds away. It will be ready for this fight, and there's High Templars with energy too. Only 3 of them, but that's 3 Storms, and it only takes 1 Storm to ruin a Terran player's day. Charges starting +1 armor as well. There's already +2 attack from ArT. Very good upgrades considering +1 armor. The Terran isn't completed yet. Now we'll see Aqueron actually going to load up 4 of his Medivacs, looking for a big drop around the left-hand side of the map here. So setting up a big drop around the left-hand side of the map as we do see Oracles coming forwards. A Revelation thrown down, and that army will be kept track of over the next few moments. Again, Medivacs to the bottom left, thinking about just where they might want to go in the near future. These 2 Oracles going to come up top as well. Oh, Stasis Ward catches 2 tanks and a clump of Bio. That's very frustrating, of course, because at this stage you don't really want to be having your attacks slow down or anything. It really limits what you can do. Well, here goes the drop in the main again. The idea is probably to hit with this army elsewhere as this drop came into the main. Aqueron will get a siege up though, and he will have a lot of units in here. Stalkers blink in, but Stalkers on their own aren't going to do this. Wow, a lot of Stalkers going down instantly. That's a little bit interesting already. Gates going down. Now the Zealots start running in. First Storm drops. More High Templar from the left-hand side. Going to see what they can do. The Zealots don't have charge, remember. That Storm. How does that Storm reach from over there? Storms. How has that got so much range? That was crazy. Feedback comes down on one of these Medivacs and will get the kill. As we'll see Aqueron backing away. A few units. Again, he finally gets forward with the rest of this army, but it's just so late. And again, imagine this had happened a bit sooner. Now it's way too late, and well, ArT absolutely crushes this. The first Storm was good, and then the Archon's splash damage really helping out. He's obviously got charge now as well. He's up in an attack upgrade. Gets the Medivac kill with the Archons. That +2 attack really showing itself there. One Medivac unloads a few Marines over here. The other one, well, actually the units went down, so it looks as though we missed a little bit of something else going on while that previous fight was happening in the middle of the map. Aqueron just continues to be cleaned out, and it looks as though ArT is looking fantastic to take game 1 of this series. Those units still just gather up together. The 2 Oracles will head towards the upper left-hand side of the map once again. Revelation comes down. A few of these units and the Liberator getting tagged by a Revelation. Again, this gateway force of ArT pushing up through the middle of the map. Getting ready to go. Stasis wall comes down before SCVs. Going to be caught in that stasis, and we do just have the army of ArT here. Getting set up. ArT is still just moving around, and well, he's going to come straight into the third base. Blinks forwards to get rid of that Liberator. It goes down pretty quickly. Storms those SCVs. Why the hell no? He's got so many storms, and he's already got the army he needs to fight this. Aqueron is in trouble. Pushed back to 2 bases, and really going to struggle to make something happen here. As we'll see, that Warp Prism goes down. Stalkers getting pushed away still as they get attacked on over to the right there. A couple of Liberators coming in around 2 as Scan comes down again on top of this army, trying to keep track of it. Again, just going to have this army of ArT just going to push on forwards and just going to try and, well, push on in. Zealots do charge on forwards. We're going to see these Liberators are going to get cleaned up. Storm coming down all over the place, and well, it didn't actually deal that much damage to the bio. It just forced it to split and given the Zealots space to run into. GG. I mean, it's hard to have City Cast without a co-caster, you know? But, yeah. Hard to have City Cast without a co-caster, but, I guess I cast very differently, actually, just straight up. When I cast on base rate and when I cast on here. I mean, obviously the co-cast has a lot to do with it. I feel in general, and this isn't... I don't think this is a bad thing or anything bad. It's a, I feel as though it's a, I feel as though, I mean, myself and Base Rate, we approach casts very differently in general. I generally try and talk more about the game. Base Rate puts on more of a show overall. I don't know, it's both, you know, 2 streams, 2 different ways of doing it. Obviously it's weird that I take part in both, but yeah. You pander to your audience, you know. Top right hand side, Aqueron is a green Terran player. Going up against the red Protoss to the bottom left hand side, ArT. Again, final map of Group C. Chance to double up their prize money here, based on whoever wins this map. Rogue will come over and you're going to head in towards the main base. Sees this SCV, building up this barracks at the moment as well. Get pushed off as we see the SCV chasing the probe away. This is the last game of Group C. Again, we have the best of 3 between Harston and Puck coming up, guys. So, just saying that once more. I don't want people to start leaving thinking, oh my god, stream's over. No, we got Harston Puck tiebreaker coming up after this one. CC Nexus coming down again. New Repugnancy, again, macro category map, 3rd base on the high ground. We saw Stefano taking a 3rd base down here earlier. It's been an interesting map when we've seen games on this one. I'm trying to see if we can get a real later game situation out of this one. It'd be pretty nice. Harston PogChamp says yet another, extra Harston game. Harston, you know, I kind of feel like Harston's just nice to his fans. He's like, oh, my fans want to see extra Harston games. Okay, BRB. Getting tied up and put into a tiebreaker situation. Command Center dropping down from Aqueron, as we mentioned before, obviously just enables him to go into a very standard setup. Again, he goes for this factory first. We'll see if he goes into the second barracks very quickly again, though, like he did last game. Well, I said it was a 2-1-1. It was eventually, but it wasn't your generic 2-1-1 opener, because he did open with that fast Widow Mine. And again, there's the Widow Mine. Here comes the barracks, I think, because what else do you do with 100? I guess he actually has 100 gas, so he can start a starport. And maybe then he does go for this time around. And I'm not, when I said I cast differently with a co-caster and without, it doesn't mean I'm looking for a co-caster, guys. I enjoy solo casting on my channel. It's what I've built this channel to be. It's how I roll on my stream. It's just what I do, you know? So yeah. Deb going to be moving on over to the right-hand side and just going to be to apply some pressure. Runs into the Widow Mine despite the shade going past it. That's a nice pick-off from Aqueron at the start of the game. Going into a Cyclone, his starport now finished up, shows us that he's going in for a medevac. A couple of different ways you can do this. You either lift the Marines or you lift the Cyclones, because you'll have 2 Cyclones here by the time the medevac finishes. The Cyclones, I think the Marines are more popular to lift because the Cyclones are pretty quick to run across the map anyways. And the idea is you can drop one set of these units in the main, and you can push with the others on the natural. And if you want to, you can relocate the drop to where the others are on the natural, and then just push with everything at once. So, some potential aggression coming through here in these early stages from Aqueron. Will definitely look to apply some pressures in the early stages of new repugnancy. Now, we look at ArT's build, and he's gone into that robotics facility. There's a robot up already. Again, it's not going to be a fast blink. It's not going to be a lot of information from the Stargate. It's going to be more of a responsible way of dealing with things, and he will be able to get an Immortal out to help defensively against Cyclones, which would actually go quite a long way. Now, this Observer sets up into its siege mode, and as it sets up into siege mode, Aqueron actually just walked past it, so ArT knows what's going on. He saw these units, he knows what's moving onto the map. Aware of that, I really feel like you should get an Immortal, but he's supply blocked. Oh man, well that's painful. 54 over 54, not a good time to be supply blocked at all. Has a Warp Prism coming across the map. We'll see if he can push in towards the main here very shortly. There's Adept going to be shading in. Warping in, sorry, and again, 3 Adepts to one-shot a Worker. That's why he wanted 1 extra Adept before he hits the main. In the end, the Cyclones do get dropped into the main, and the Marines are going to push at the natural. If you can get that Pylon, oh my god, if he gets this Pylon Robo unpowered, what more can be done here? Because the Immortal's going to be not allowed to come up, and all those Marines, where are they going? Where are they going, Marines? You can do so much over here. Stalker getting targeted down. It will fall a sentry now too. The Zealots are walking around, not helping out against the Cyclones. Misses the lift up, but the Marines are pressing the front. A recall? He's recalling the Warp Prism to help defend. It was already taking some damage to the Marines Viking Cyclone over here. Somehow didn't go down. It's kind of crazy. The Adept's dropping off now, but already the Stalker and the Zealot at the front here dead. The Adept's going down as we just see the target fire of the Marines. Stimming forward, not stimming forwards, but just stutter stepping forwards. Probe after probe going down, and Aqueron is finding insane damage early on. Picks up a couple of Marines, will get out of here. Aqueron, what a way to go about things. Beautifully done. Beautifully done. Love it. Alright, well that was great damage early on. Takes a Worker lead against a Protoss player, that's great. Delays a third Nexus from being taken, that's great. All of this right now very good, although this medevac might be in some trouble. The Warp Prism chasing with Stalkers, gets shots off. Just juggling those Stalkers for the shots, will get the kill. Good micro by ArT to capitalize on something at least in this game. He needed something to go his way. Oh, but at the same time, the Liberator shows up. 5 kills on the Liberator, make that 6 a fresh probe. Actually, not even the fresh probe. He's going to lose another probe as it morphs sign from the Nexus. Oh man, didn't get the memo that this Nexus was out of commission for a little while. Being repaired from Liberator damage. Probe goes down. Marine on the top side gets killed at least, so we can see ArT moving towards a third Nexus. It's all been about Aqueron in the early stages of the game too, though. Observer sat overhead, as we'll probably see. I mean, we've seen scans all over the place, but he's yet to pick off this Observer. He hasn't killed a single one this game just yet, so Observer is able to kind of sit back and just do its thing of picking up information and seeing what's going on. Combat shield starting from Aqueron as well. Stimpack halfway done. Command center. Third base ready to move out. And the fact that third CC is finished before the Protoss player is even thinking of expanding towards a third base, well, that's already, again, just a sign of how far ahead the Terran player is in this game. Warp Prism through the bottom right side of the map, and we'll be going in towards the natural here in the next few moments. Prism just going to be looking to come in towards the natural here. As do you see the +1 attack upgrade just being set on the engineering bay. Third orbital of Aqueron is going to be moving forwards, and we're just going to be seeing again the Marines, the tanks, gathering together to keep pressing forward. And here come these 2 Adepts dropping down, and SCV is starting to take some damage. 1 or 2 workers falling. Third worker goes down as well. Again, these Marines and tanks gathering up from ArT. Warp Prism down to the south is going to be backing away as well. And again, a few Marines continue to come on up here. Engineering bay with the +1 attack upgrade coming through. And there's the armory, there's the engineering bay. Coming on down to go into the next set of upgrades. Continuing along, there's an upgrade lead from the Protoss player. That's something we're accustomed to seeing. Maybe one way that ArT can start to come back into this game. Only on 46 workers against the 64 SCVs. ArT's not even been making probes despite this third Nexus coming up, so he's not even going to be able to start saturating this at all. Which is kind of crazy. I mean, you can transfer a few probes that are oversaturating because it's been such a late third base. And still not really ideal as Aqueron is not sieging up though. And move commands into that army for a moment. Tanks are going to lift. Maybe he can drop off over here down the ramp. No, he's just going to keep running. Okay, now he turns and fights momentarily. Rocks are going to block him off, and he'll keep on moving away to the top. A little bit of a move command towards the army didn't help, and he just didn't siege up. Wasn't expecting ArT to be right there. Aqueron gets out without issue, but I really felt that was a moment when he maybe would have wanted to fight. So many Marines against Zealots, so many tanks that could have sieged up, and not much of an answer to them. But now ArT has more time to set up and utilize the Templar Archives more. Mortals will be added into play, obviously. The Templar Archives means High Templar, which means Archon's brought into play, eventually Storm 2. All of these are things which are going to be very good against the composition of Aqueron, and are just going to improve ArT's chances at surviving in fights and being able to just, well, return the favor to the Terran player when he pushes on in. Marines pushing in, as we do see some SCVs going down across the map. A little bit of a depth harassment. Sorry, a little bit slow to pick up on that one. Still pushing forwards. Tanks will siege. Marines pushing in. Oh, well, it's going to be a little bit of a flank here. ArT comes in from two angles. Stalkers blink towards the tanks. Zealots charging. You see these Immortals in some trouble. The Marines have to keep stepping back at the moment. Well, I mean, all the Immortals are going to go down, but all of the tanks are falling too, so both players losing their tech units. Now it's just Bio against Gateway. Oh, there's one Archon though, actually, and those force fields are great. Will force Aqueron to lift up and leave. Aqueron is out of there for the moment. His +1 armor just now finishing. He's going to be an entire set of upgrades behind ArT, who's going to be finishing up onto 2-2 very soon. Man, this is kind of crazy. Stalkers, Adepts, and Archons coming in towards the right-hand side. Third base from Aqueron is set up over here. Well, that Sensitizer is going to be pretty short-lived. Gets the kill before it gets cancelled. Oh man, third base has to live. SCVs are surrounded. Aqueron's just going to fight this. Here we go. Liberators are going to try and siege on top of the army. Thinks twice about it. 19 SCVs lost, but he will be able to take a fight. That's cleaning out a lot of the Protoss. I mean, both of these Archons going down after the Archons. The Zealots aren't here yet. Now the Liberators finally get a chance to siege up. The tanks are firing onto the Stalkers, which do come in cleaning up the Liberators. The Bio fights back, though, and the Warp Prism going down, too. He should get this here. The Warp Prism being chased. He gets it with the last shot before it hits the high ground. Woo! Aqueron and ArT are playing one heck of a game, back and forth. Aqueron holding advantages, but now he just lost a bunch of workers. His economy's down the drain. Marines will sim forwards again. Stalkers have to blink away off to the side once more. Just going to be seeing Psystorm on the way up at the moment, about halfway done. +3 armor still coming through on the Forge. 4 tech labs being built from Aqueron here. So 4 tech labs on the way up and getting ready to go. Medevacs, Marines, tanks, and Marauders. This army once more. It's not changed from Aqueron. I mean, slowly getting some Liberators up, but really slowly. I mean, we had 2 so far, and they both got picked off. Takes down these rocks. Will continue to push across to the left side. ArT still trailing, but again, that previous fight only helped him get into a better position. Big lift up here, and we've obviously seen Aqueron doing big drops before. Already scanned this position, so he knows there's nothing immediately ready to go. Stalkers are moving into the main, but way too late to actually shut down Medevacs. He'll target 1 Medevac, but he doesn't even get the kill. Brings it down to, what, 1 HP? 3 HP. Well, tanks now going to fire away as the Bio starts kiting a little bit. Lifts a couple of Marines into Medevacs. A bit of a mistake there on the micro. Storm comes down, dodges it. Oh, feedback's dropping, but they don't actually kill any of the Medevacs. All of these escaping alive, albeit beaten down and withered. So close to actually just being killed, but not quite. Liberator in the back of the third base is going to get another 8 workers, make that 9 at the very end. It gets cleaned up, but again, 9 workers. This consistent harassment has brought Aqueron back to a workable amount of SCVs, 46 to 48 probes. It's manageable now. Stalkers are blinking, looking for this Medevac, but guess what? It's heading towards the main base. So actually those Medevacs are in position. These Medevacs should get repaired up. No reason not to. Keep your Medevacs healthy. Medevac's going to drop into the main in a moment or two. Man, this main's pretty big as well, by the way. And that means that these medevacs are unseen as they drop. And obviously a drop just here means that if there was anything there, it got cleaned up already. So Aqueron abuses that and comes straight in for a pylon kill. Goes for the Robo too, just stops any Robo production. Forge would be insane as well, of course. +2 attack really showing as he shreds through these structures. More pylons, I mean ArT's on the other side of the map, so while not going to be a full-on base trade, it definitely shows some possibility. High Templar Storm is actually exactly... Oh my god, that was disgusting. The High Templar do go down, but the Marines all fell as well. Actually, the first Storm was very far forward, so he could have just not stepped in and he would have been fine. ArT is still moving into the middle of the map. Starts to take a 4th Nexus, 4th CC. I don't think Aqueron's even thought about that yet. This game's been pretty intense. ArT's army supply is really, really down though. 2-2 upgrades from the Terran versus 3 armor, 1 attack. ArT's army supply is so low. 66 to 108, and when there's a few ghosts now being added into play, I say a few, there's already 6 on the map. Ghosts are just going to really add a lot of value to the Terran player's army now. They're going to be able to do so much. Tank on sieges, and here we go. The Bioforce of Aqueron starts to move out onto the map yet again. Back onto the map here as we see the Forge and the Robo setting up in the back of the Natural. We're not sure, I mean, yeah, of course, he lost the Forge that had +2 attack on it. That's what happened. So he has to replace that. Scans onto the army. Aqueron seen where this army of ArT is maneuvering around at the moment. Cloak coming up for these ghosts. We do see Marines stimming ahead, and we will see that pylon picked off here. You can continue to stim towards the left side. Shield battery and a pylon already be picked away at. Storms. And one storm connects, and then he'll just lose the High Templar. The EMP was good to stop another storm coming down. Now he's in position down here. A couple of EMPs, well placed, will do the job. High Templar load into the Warp Prism, and he will just target it instantly. Goodbye, HTs. Hello, EMPs. Hello, game number 2 and 4th place in this group, I think, as Aqueron just stims on forwards. These units have no shields, and that means ArT just has to tap out. And that puts Aqueron at 4.